Welcome back, everybody, to the Tiger Network. It's been about a month, but we are ready for some more Trinity University basketball as Trinity University takes on Dallas Christian College in an NCAA versus NCAA matchup. You see the starters running across your screen right now. I'll run you through them real quick. For Trinity, it's Josie Napoli, Kylie Minter, Bailey Timmons, Sky O'Rourke, and Elaine King starting for the Tigers. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Christian Crusaders, it is Mia Coleman, Demia Jackson, Nayeli Espinoza, Kira Martinez, and Jaden Mitchell for the Crusaders starting. I am Reed Rosales, joined by Annika Saenz. And Annika, we've been gone for a while, but this should be a good opportunity for the Tigers to really find themselves after just a week ago. They had a tough loss against UMHB, picked it up against Schreiner, but opportunity to carry momentum.
Yes, and especially at home. I know this is their first home game after coming off of a really great California trip that they had. They went 3-0, had a great time there, and then a really big win against Schreiner in our conference. So I'm excited to see what type of energy they come out with right now as we get started on this tip-off.
And tipping off for both sides. Dallas Christian wins the tip. Mia Coleman, definitely one of the stars for the Crusaders. They are in the black and dark red. Quick three taken. Doesn't go for the Crew, but almost saved. It is saved. Crew will keep the ball after it deflects off of Kylie Minter. Good hustle by Coleman.
Great hustle. Now we're seeing the Tigers set up in what it looked like initially as their man defense.
Crusaders trying to be the first ones to score. Coming in is Martinez, loses the ball, just taken away by Napoli. She rushes past her defender, gets it across the timeline, but she loses the ball. A turnover for a turnover. Nothing but space. And first points to the Crew. 2-0 lead.
Well, the Crew is set up in a pretty high man defense right now, picking up full court as Josie Napoli gets through that pressure coming across half court. And inevitably it was a foul off of that double hand. But I'm interested to see how this game is going to be called. It looks a little bit physical already. There's been 2 steals, 1 transition layup.
Kylie Minter trying to shake Martinez, hands it off to O'Rourke. Now back to Napoli. Napoli to Minter, trying to work their way in. Kicking it out back to O'Rourke. Fumbles the ball for just a moment. Napoli with the ball. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Tigers got to do something. Quick three from Minter. Goes! Impressive.
Everything's impressive with Kylie Minter. She's coming off of a big game, 21 points against Schreiner. And I know you had that meeting with Coach Cameron before this. I mean, she's just a finesse player and has a great mind for finishing. And she passes it up to Bailey Timmons, and she just went right above her defender. Really athletic move by her.
Kylie Minter has certainly been turning a lot of heads, not just in the conference, but around the nation. It'll be Tiger basketball.
Great defense by Josie Napoli coming off of that press. It's what the Tigers have been known for years under Cameron Hill. They've had this really just amazing press that's been kind of known around the nation, especially when we go to the East and West Coast.
Another three, this time from Bailey Timmons. So Tigers putting up points quick. DCC trying to respond. Getting it to Coleman. Gets fouled.
I know there was a little bit of a reaction by Josie Napoli, but she knew there was one hand down, and it's pretty much an automatic as soon as a ref sees it. I think her left hand was down on that hip, but just making sure to maintain that vertical plane is really important, especially when anybody's going up to contest that shot, especially a layup. And we go 1 for 1 at that line right now by Maya Coleman. Let's see if she can make it 2.
Coleman definitely a star on the Crusaders. Makes it 8-6 with a good trip to the charity stripe. Minter and the Tigers on the attack. They move quick, but the ball is fumbled. It'll be a Crusader ball. Good movement, but just slipped out of the hands.
Yeah, but they're right back in that press, getting ready to apply some pressure. You see Bailey Timmons going in for that double pretty fast.
Now back on the attack. Point taken. When nothing going there, kick back out. Dallas Christian skipping it. Ball is loose. Ends up in the hands of the Tigers. Long throw. It's kept alive. Probably not the best decision.
That was some turn of events during that entire possession. Bailey Timmons made a great decision by throwing it up and kind of making Skyrock go chase it a little bit, but thankfully ended up in the hands of Kylie Minter, who finished beautifully.
O'Rourke up to Napoli. 3 up, 3 good. Josie Napoli. The Tigers are blistering from beyond the arc early on.
Great shot by Josie Napoli. And she's coming off, what, 12 points against Schreiner. She had a good game, double digits. I think Bailey Timmons also had 12 points, did she not, that game? And then we'll see one of our freshmen come in who also had a season high for her as well.
The Tigers, Minter will be the one to inbound it to Napoli.
They're still maintaining this pretty high full court man. I'm eager to see how deep the Dallas bench may be, because it takes a lot of energy to maintain that within 4 quarters, but obviously it worked that first possession because they got a little steal off of it, but we'll see what happens. I know the Tigers have extended some help out. Bailey Timmons coming up on this front court.
Minter gets across the 10-second line. Napoli, tight window pass. Going across to O'Rourke. O'Rourke working in the paint, loses the ball, gets called for the travel. Crusader ball.
It was a good puncture, but I think maybe stopping one more. There was a collapse in defense. Maybe seeing somebody else who was outside the 3, still getting the ball going, had some time left on that clock.
Open player, but doinks off of the rim. Now Minter having to deal with one, passes it over to O'Rourke. Smooth finish from the Tigers.
That was some beautiful transition offense. I mean, just looking right ahead, Kylie Minter just took off, and Bailey read that perfectly. And another steal by the Tigers, but rejected by Coleman.
So 7-0 run for Trinity over the past minute. 3 turnovers for the Crusaders. Forced a lot of turnovers from their last opponent, Southwestern Adventist. But no such luck against the Tigers early on. Minter in the paint, just throws one up.
She felt a little shove, and she was like, let me go for it. She's a smart player, very, very smart player. I'm assuming it was on the floor. And they're going to inbound it on that baseline.
And head coach for Dallas Christian, Joel Garcia, not too happy with the call there. Minter inbounds it to Napoli. Napoli back to Minter. She works her way to her left. Puts it up, can't put it in. Now Dallas Christian, an opportunity to break a 2-minute scoring drought. Napoli tumbles.
That was good defense, though. I thought she beat her defender there. It's still Dallas's ball, but Tigers have been playing some pretty intense defense so far. Let's see if they can figure it out in the half court as they have in that full court press.
Coleman denied by Elaine King. First Elaine King, on that trip to California for the Tigers, put up 8 blocks against Claremont Mudscripts. First player in a couple years to do something like that.
Yeah, no, Elaine's been great. I mean, since she came in as a freshman and even now, I mean, we talked about it a little while ago with Josie kind of keeping one hand down, but Elaine has been absolutely tremendous at maintaining that vertical plane. And she's already, I think she's listed at, what, 6 foot? And with her arms up, I mean, it's just really amazing.
King with the ball, goes to Timmons, tries to drive in, looking for someone to pass it to, back out to Kylie Minter. Napoli thought about a 3, instead drives in. Shot from the high post is good. Another swish for the Tigers, 17-6.
That was a great floater by Josie Napoli, who psyched her defender out.
Air ball. But Tigers keep standing in the way of where the ball is being saved by the crew. They end up getting the ball back because of it.
And we have some substitutions. We have Bailey Minter and Elaine King coming out for Ivory Scott and Natalie Greenwood. And then there was another substitution for the Crusaders as well.
That's Chloe Buckner on the court for the Crew. Yes, it is, number 35. Coleman in the corner. Gets it over to Alicia Garcia, new face for the Crew as well. She has the ball, puts up the three, off the rim. Natalie Greenwood with the rebound. Sky O'Rourke over to Napoli, shoots, she scores! My goodness, the Tigers are just hitting three after three after three.
And I really think that's just generated off of good defense. If you feel some momentum, especially in transition, you want to puncture the paint and look to see if your shooters are ready. And obviously, Josie Napoli is pretty much always ready to shoot that three, and she nailed it this last time. She went 2 for 2 right now. As Avery Scott just applies some pressure, and the Tigers get the ball right back.
Now Scott punched the ball. Just let it go. It would have been Crusader ball, but kicked it out of bounds. So we will have our immediate timeout. Tigers up 20-6 over the Crusaders. Pretty dominant performance for Trinity over the past 3 minutes. 12-0 scoring run. And, I mean, 100% from beyond the arc. It's hard to beat a Trinity team when they're shooting that well from three.
Oh, yeah. And I really think that a lot of their offense has really just been generated off of their intensity on defense, and especially within transition. I mean, there was a couple plays where we saw Sky O'Rourke getting out ahead, Bailey Timmons looking for Kylie Minter, just running ahead. But just seeing what the defense is giving you in transition, and they've been reading it pretty well. I know that there was some weaving action that was going on a little bit, and they were working off of that, really trying to puncture the paint. And I know Lane King has just always been really good about making sure if she sees any guards that are open after the defense has, you know, helped on her. So I'm excited to see what the Tigers are going to do with this lineup coming in. We have Livy Savignon, Jivy Cáceres, Ivory Scott, Natalie Anderson, and Jalen Martin coming in for the Tigers as we head in after this media timeout.
The freshman Livy Savageau having career high against Schreiner. Tigers really blistered the nets against the Mountaineers. Natalie Greenwood, oh, just doesn't bounce in. Unfortunate bounce for Greenwood. But some good traffic from Cáceres.
I've really been impressed by her defensive just intensity since I've seen her play, especially at home. I mean, look, she picks up really high. She moves her feet really well. I think she anticipates what the offensive player is going to do. I spoke too soon. I didn't really think, I personally thought that was a little ticky-tacky, but that could be me. That could be me. But once again, at least defensive intensity is still there, and defensive pressure.
Coming onto the court for the Crusaders is Kanaya Randall, freshman out of Victoria, Texas. Crusaders and Jennifer Gonzalez with the ball. Handing it off to Randall, loses it, but it will remain Crew ball. Came off the Tiger.
Good help there by Natalie Greenwood, making sure that nothing really got into the paint.
Maya Coleman gets it in. Last touched by Greenwood, an attempt to wrangle the ball. So another opportunity for the Crusaders, but they got 8 seconds on the shot clock. Got to work fast. 8-second drill, where do they go? Try to go close inside. Back, lose the ball. Ivory Scott holds up the Tigers. Cáceres back to Scott. Scott takes the three. Off the front of the rim, but offensive board by Martin. Tries to put it up, can't get it. She picked up her own miss. Being swarmed by Crusaders. Ends up in the hands of Natalie Greenwood. Out to Cáceres. She moves quick, gets fouled. Moving there on the end line. Cáceres has just such a good burst of speed.
She does. She really does. And from the games that I've seen, I mean, she's had a really good little mid-range jumper, gotten to the rim pretty fast. I just think at the beginning of the possession, she may have had a shot there when she passed it off to Scott. And she's a good three-point shooter. So I really want to see her take advantage of those opportunities, especially, you know, when you're wide open.
Savageau with the ball. Tries to take it herself, and she does. Impressive from the freshman.
Great finish by Savageau. Coming off of that Shriner win, too. I think she's really gaining her confidence and finding her footing. I know it can be a little bit difficult, you know, with the transition from high school to college, but I think she's doing really, really well.
Erin Bird with the points for the Crusaders. She's a new face on the court, number 10. Greenwood in the paint. Hits it back out. Shot from the key. Doesn't go. But offensive board by Greenwood. Second chance ball goes in. 24-8. Tigers lead. Steal from Caceres.
And they're right back in that press, ready again.
And nearly losing the ball again. Pushed to the ground. But Gonzalez gets up. Seems she's okay. Substitutions for the Crusaders as Kira Martinez and Jaden Mitchell back on the court. Mitchell, sole senior on this squad out of San Antonio. So a bit of a homecoming for her.
It's a homecoming for most of that Dallas team.
Indeed it is. Nearly half the team is from San Antonio. Jenabel Gonzalez, Madison Sanchez, Nayeli Espinoza, Kira Martinez, Jaden Mitchell, and Miranda Garcia, all from San Antonio. Ivory Scott out to Savageau. They work it around. Three does not go in for Caceres.
I like to see the ball working around the horn, though. A lot of people have been touching it and getting it good offensive looks.
Oh, good tip from Caceres. Running quick, she gets the ball. Oh, falls over.
I don't know if that was a slip on the, because the floor was wet, or.
She's tying her shoe, so I wonder.
Okay. Let's see this replay. I don't really know what went on.
Yeah, a bit tough to see because of the Crusaders standing, but a trip nonetheless. Crusaders will have an opportunity here. They kick it out to the corner. Crusaders trying to move the ball well. Foul by Caceres, trying to reach in behind.
She just got a little overzealous, a little bit excited. I know she picked a pocket over here in this front court, but when they were in that press. So she just needs to calm down a little bit. And she's got two right now.
Espinoza with the ball for the Crusaders. In the corner to Martinez. Hit back out to Randall. Randall works it in, but passes it to Jalen Martin of the Tigers. Trinity working quick. Out to Savageau. Ivory Scott works it in. Out to Caceres. Thought about a three, but thought better of it. Then she steps back. Foot was on the line. Ball not saved by Scott.
It was a good hustle, though. I really liked the intent behind that possession. Everybody touched the ball. It got into the paint a little bit. And overall, I thought it was a good possession. I know Cameron Hill talked a lot about intention of possessions over outcome, and I think that's all you can really ask for, because at the end of the day, I mean, the team that wins, you know, always has the ball go in for the most of the time, but intention behind those plays is really important.
About a minute 20 left here in the first quarter. Crusaders find themselves down by 18. We'll see what they do with this possession. Shot from the key. Off the back of the iron, but offensive board for the Crusaders. Had plenty of those against Southwestern Adventist. A foul drawn. Shot doesn't go in. Ivory Scott will be tacked for the foul. We'll get to see some free throws from Kira Martinez, freshman from San Antonio.
She had a good little floater off that baseline. And she goes 1 for 1 right now.
It does put the Crusaders in the bonus. So some opportunities to pick up some points from the charity stripe, but a 1-for-2 trip. Tigers take the ball away. Maddie Moeller on the court for Trinity. Greenwood to Savageau. Savageau takes the three. Not quite. 47 seconds in the first quarter. Quick shot. Goes in. Good movement from Jaden Mitchell. And the tough moving floater.
Those teardrop shots are actually probably one of the hardest ones on this court, or just any court, just because that little mid-range game is really difficult to perfect.
Natalie Greenwood's shot just rolls out. Another unfortunate circumstance for her. Crusader ball. No shot clock left. So Crusaders could potentially take the last shot of the quarter if they elect to. Though the Tigers, I'm sure, will try and take the ball away. Scott trying to be a presence up front. Crusaders slowing down pace of play. Savageau applying pressure. Where will the Crusaders go? Martinez, shot from within the arc, but gets called for the travel.
I don't really know about that one. It felt like one of those little hardened double back steps. Could have been either way, depending on the ref, if I'm being quite honest. But I like the confidence. It would have been a good move.
4 seconds. Martin will have to put it up. Puts it up too late, but didn't make it either way. So after 1 quarter of basketball, it is Trinity 26, Dallas Christian 11. Tigers ending the first quarter, about a 2-minute, 30-second scoring drought, but still some good shooting percentages from both beyond the arc and just on the floor. Crusaders winning the rebound game right now, which has been a bit of a trouble spot for the Tigers. The loss against UMHB, they were out-rebounded by quite a bit. I think the Crusaders had 20 or 30 more rebounds than the Tigers. Almost half of their rebounds were offensive rebounds. So Trinity aspect of the game that they're trying to improve.
I think that rebounds across all divisions of any form of basketball, it's really about grit and making sure that you're blocking people out as soon as the shot goes up. That doesn't matter if they're beyond the three-point line, beyond the elbow. You have to box people out. You have to make contact and make sure you are in position to go get the ball. So especially now, like, this is a great time to reinforce, those practices. I know that we may only be down by 1 rebound, but they should have small, goals to be up by, 2 or 3 rebounds within the next, I don't know how many minutes. But they need to really maintain this enthusiasm and this intensity coming into the second quarter, because I know, especially when you feel like you have a larger lead, you can get a little complacent. So the Tigers need to make sure they don't have that, mentality of complacency coming into this second quarter.
Starters back on the court for both sides. Right now for the Tigers, it's Josie Napoli leading the team in scoring with 8 points. She hands it off to King inside the arc. Little handoff to Napoli. Passes it back out to Bailey Timmons. Timmons to O'Rourke. Back to Napoli. Napoli in her way, does a little spin move, but loses the ball. Crusaders running quick, trying to beat Minter, but doesn't end up in the net. Sky O'Rourke takes the ball, hands it to Minter. Stepping through. No contact drawn, says the official. So a fast start to the second quarter, but now pace of play slowed down by the Crusaders. Nayeli Espinoza. They go down to the near side, now working to the far side. Trying to pierce the arc. Zed headed back out for the 3 attempt, doesn't go. Clean board for the Tigers. Bailey Timmons to Napoli in the corner, doesn't take a 3. King to Minter, back to King. She hands it off to Sky O'Rourke. Now to Napoli. Napoli takes the 3. Off the back of the iron. Crusader ball, as O'Rourke was trying to save it.
Just trying to get that 3rd rebound in a row. She's gotten 2 great defensive rebounds, by boxing out and being in that good position. So hopefully this continues.
Jaden Mitchell puts it up and puts it in.
Elaine King was a little bit of a predicament there. It was a little 2-on-1 situation. But she did good by keeping her hands up and contesting as well as she could right there.
Napoli having to deal with a pesky Crusader defense. Minter driving in. Shot goes over the rim. Crusaders once again working fast. But the Tigers surrounding the ball carrier. Stays Crusader ball, 20 seconds on the shot clock.
That was some good defense coming in. Kylie Minter, I don't know if that was planned or not, as she tried to trap in that corner with that baseline and sideline as there are 2 other defenders there.
Espinoza trying to find somebody. Gets it to Martinez. Up to Jackson. Picked off by the Tigers and Kylie Minter. Napoli thought about taking the 3 instead. Drives in. Floater left too short. Sky O'Rourke back out to Minter.
Minter. Follow through.
Wow.
Great shot by Kylie Minter.
Kylie Minter breaking that little scoring drought for the Tigers. And as they break the drought, they just score 5 more points in about not even 10 seconds.
There was some great offense cultivated by great defense. In that last possession, I really want to highlight how they've really just, we're just like noticing that so many people are really open and understanding that defenders are really getting caught up in that paint. And it was really nice to see Sky O'Rourke get that ball in that right block and then kick it right back out to a waiting Kylie Minter, of course, who probably with her eyes closed could have made that, but great offense.
One of my favorite things to see on the scoreboard, a palindrome score. 31-13 or 13-31. Reads the same both ways you read it.
That's such a Trinity-ism. That's such a Trinity student-ism.
It's hard. It's easier in some sports than in others.
It is.
But for the Tigers, breaking that, scoring 5 points immediately, heading into the media timeout. It's Napoli and Minter leading the way for scoring for the Tigers, both with 8 points. Really spreading around the ball. But obviously not afraid to ride the hot hand whenever somebody is shooting lights out. Kylie Minter at 27 points against Redlands. That's actually a career high for her at either Trinity University or Southern Arkansas, the school she transferred from.
I think in that interview with Cam, didn't he say maybe she's like slightly flying under the radar? But I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like she's a pretty prominent player and has been for a while now. I know she had a pretty good season last year, and I know that she's coming in with even more confidence right now. But she's always been one of my favorite players just to watch. But the play is just so finesse. I know last year she had a beautiful behind-the-back pass that I'm pretty sure one of our colleagues, Peyton, got a beautiful shot of. It's iconic. Kylie Minter is iconic.
Yeah, that was a
right here.
Beautiful, beautiful shot by Peyton Tebow. If you haven't seen the thumbnail image for the most recent game recap against Shriner, please go to the Trinity University Athletics website and look at it. It's probably the best one I've seen here, maybe in the entirety of my time. It's pretty good.
He doesn't pay us, I swear. No, he's a great photographer, and he's only been expanding it.
Seems like whatever was happening at the table is done. The Crusaders with the ball in hand. Jackson having to deal with Napoli. Coleman, long pass, but
Cameron Hill was ready. Did you see him?
Should have taken it.
There's some heckling going on by the Trinity student section. And I'm glad to see that there's been a good turnout. I know we're in the midst of finals, so people are still on campus, and we always love a good student section turnout.
Tigers will enjoy this large student section turnout because during those winter break games, everyone goes home for the winter usually. So it'll be a while before we see students on campus again. Elaine King in the paint. Not afraid to get dirty. Tigers go up by 2 more points.
That was a great shuffle pass by Josie Napoli, noticing that her defender came up for help. And Elaine King used her body really, really well. Shoved her shoulder into that defender to her left and finished. But I think that foul may have been on Sky O'Rourke, if I'm not mistaken.
Substitutions for the Crusaders, 3 of them. Miranda Garcia, Chloe Buckner. All the way at the top is Alicia Garcia. We've got to wait a second. Sometimes players have hair long enough to block the numbers in the back.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do with the ball. Espinoza has to back up before getting it. Shot up, does not go. Trinity with the rebound, heading down the court. Sky O'Rourke kicks it out to Minter. Thought about a three, instead drives it. Now stuck behind Crusaders. Some passing troubles, it's across the timeline. Crusader ball.
The heckling continues by the Trinity student section. As the Crusaders take the ball out and enter their half-court offense.
Nelly Espinoza on the Tiger head, passing it inwards to Randall. Oh, back up to Garcia. Buckner to Garcia. Some heckling going on by the student section.
Are they barking? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine. Travel called on Timmons.
She thought about passing up to Kylie Minter for a second there, but I think her head was turned.
Rain of boos coming down from the crowd over that call.
There have been some questionable calls. I don't know about that one.
I think I see Braxton Berry amongst some of those students there at the top.
Our center for our men's team. I can't wait till they start playing here. They haven't played home at all yet.
No. Home opener next weekend. Napoli takes the three. Off the rim, but offensive board for the Tigers, so a second chance. That one doesn't go. Ends up in the hands of Buckner. Trinity trying to stop the score, and they do. Nothing going for the quick-moving Crusaders. Quick drive, put up. Can't get it in.
Thought that was a good read by Kylie Minter, you know, just applying pressure. I don't think she's been to the line yet this game. See the ball go in as we see some Trinity players come in. We have Ivory Scott, Jalen Martin, and Natalie Greenwood coming in for Sky O'Rourke, Elaine King, and Bailey Timmons. As Minter puts up her first one.
Minter, junior from League City, Texas. Spent some time up in Arkansas, playing for Southern Arkansas, D2 squad. Transferring to Trinity University her sophomore year.
She had a great breakout year last year, and it's just been amazing. I mean, I was her teammate last year, and she's just, if you think she's an outstanding player, she's an outstanding person.
Ivory Scott will be the one to inbound it for the Tigers. Hands it off to Minter. Minter gets it down to Napoli. Inside to Greenwood. Greenwood working against the Crusaders. To Martin. Back out to Scott. Trying to put it in. Kind of pinballed off of a couple players, but ended up in the hands of the Crusaders. Travel called on Garcia.
I got a little nervous there. I thought that may have been a foul on Jalen Martin, but I'm really glad that, I mean, she was there. She had her feet set. So another steal for the Tigers.
Greenwood puts it up from the elbow. In and out. But Tigers get the ball. Another chance.
The charge on Josie Napoli. I think there may have been a slight dip of her shoulder.
Crusaders prevent a Tigers score on that possession. Olivia Savageau back on the court for Trinity, along with Maddie Muller. I'll take off Josie Napoli and Kylie Minter. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Once again, the Tigers quick to work on the defensive front. Corner three is up and good for Alicia Garcia.
Pretty sure that was the first three of the game, wasn't it?
Breaks a 4-minute scoring drought for the Crusaders. Sorely needed. Savageau gets it in to Greenwood. Back to Savageau. They work it around to Muller in the corner. Doesn't fall for Muller, however. Again, they're running quick. Not kept alive. It's probably going to be Tiger ball either way because Savageau was there in case the ball did get saved. Tigers have done a good job keeping this Crusader offense pretty quiet. Looking for a score themselves. Travel called. Another turnover for the Tigers. That'll be turnover number 10 here in the game.
Right now, I feel like they may need to be focusing on, some of the controllables and like the intangibles, because you do want to make sure that you're taking care of that ball. And just because you are up with such a significant lead, you want to maintain that, maintain that level of edge.
It's a good three from Chloe Buckner.
The foul is called on Kira Martinez. And she applied some pressure. They're really picking up pretty high. So let's see if the Tigers will do a release press break.
Maddie Muller gets it to Savageau, crosses the timeline. Savageau to Muller. Gets it to Savageau in the corner, works it in before going back out to Muller. Muller within the arc. Can't land it, but right into the hands of Natalie Greenwood. Natalie Greenwood uses her height to her advantage.
She did really good there, keeping the ball above her head. And a foul, I'm pretty sure that was on Livy Savageau. Once again, some heckling by that Trinity crowd.
Tigers, doesn't matter what point in the game that they're in, they are always going to be pressing their opponents. Alicia Garcia spinning around, having to lob it up right into the hands of Savageau. Over to Muller. Muller thought about a three, instead gets it in to Greenwood.
Foul by Chloe Buckner. She shoved Greenwood in the back a little bit.
Ivory Scott to inbound it, but back on the court. Number 4 and number 14. Maya Coleman and Demia Jackson. Coleman, a freshman from St. Louis. Jackson, a junior from Malakoff. Corner three goes in for Savageau. 40 points for the Tigers here in the first half so far. Ball is lost, back in the hands of Trinity. Scott goes to Savageau. Wow, that was right off of the hand of Coleman. Coleman wanted the ball to be Crusader ball,
No,
but
I think she may have thought that it hit Savageau, maybe like a little tip of her finger. But even after that last three, Savageau maintained and kind of just trekked after that ball, gave a little back tip.
Greenwood spinning around in the paint. Another masterpiece approved by the Tigers, 42-19.
It's been really great to see her improvement coming from this season to last season. I think she's done a great job at, getting her back to the basket and, finishing off that glass pretty well.
Ball had been loose for a moment. Tigers will get the ball now on the court for Trinity. Another freshman for the Tigers. It's Ivy Meharry, first year out of Dallas, Texas. Martin will inbound it to Scott. See how the freshman has an impact on the court here in the last 2 minutes. Scott getting it into Meharry, trying to spin around. She keeps the ball, gets it back out to Savageau. Three from Muller.
And it goes.
And Muller reports 45-19, Tigers up.
I saw a little tip there by Muller right now. And that defensive possession before it, when the Tigers got the ball, she's actually the one that ended up tipping it and ended up getting that ball back for them.
Pass trying to get it to Muller, but punched away by a Crusader. Welcome back to the court, Aaron Bird, sophomore out of Oak Cliff, Texas. Ivory Scott, sophomore out of Waco, gets it in to Martin. Quick three from Muller, doesn't fall.
She maybe felt that hot hand, she thought it was going in.
Ambush of Tigers there again to attack the Crusaders. Ball's kept alive, but only Tigers around. The Crusaders were really far back. Martin out to Muller. Works away around her defender. Meharry gets 2 for Trinity, 47-19.
That was a cute little dump off by Maddie Muller to Ivy, who finished off with that little lefty. And she comes up with a steal.
Scott and the Tigers blistering the nets now. 21-6 run over the last 7 minutes. Muller trying to find Scott. Ball's tipped. Scott falls over, but in the hands of Savageau. What a 3 from Savageau.
Smooth as silk.
Half a century reached for the Tigers. Corner 3 up. Almost responded, but rattles away. Be a jump ball. Crusaders will maintain possession. No shot clock. So in all likelihood, it'll be Crusaders with the last chance.
Alicia Garcia comes in to inbound the ball.
See who she can pass it to. Gets it to Coleman. Out to Bird. Garcia to Bird. Back to Garcia. Shot from within the arc doesn't go. Tigers should have the last say. Muller, that was a smooth reception of the pass. Ball's loose. Nobody had possession of it. That's the end of the half. Tigers go on a nice 15-0 run in the last 3 minutes to take a very commanding lead. It's 50-19. 6 turnovers for the Crusaders in the last 4 minutes. Scoring drought of 3 minutes, 30 seconds for the Crew. Tigers, they're doing pretty well from themselves, we'll just say that.
And they finally flipped that rebounding score. I think we're up by 3 now on the rebounding. So things like that matter. You always want to be on top of each one of those little brackets. It's like a game within itself.
It's Kylie Minter for the Tigers, who leads the team in points with 10. Jalen Martin crashing the boards well. 4 rebounds, leads the team. You know, a lot of different combinations of players on the court for the Tigers. I'm sure we'll see more in the second half. It's one of the things that Coach Hill likes about these games, is that they can really do well with different combinations of people that, you know, you might not see against a team like TLU when they come around here. But for the Tigers, it's been really, really good. Some good shooting when you're shooting 50% from beyond the arc.
It's always a good night.
Yeah, hard to say otherwise. Of course, forcing 22 turnovers from the Crusaders. That's got to be a really big stat there. Imagine most of those have been turned into points as well.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Tigers are going to keep that, you know, pretty high press, you know, coming into the second half. I don't doubt that they might, but it'd be nice to see them kind of settle back into a half-court defensive set, because we will be seeing that later on in the season, especially once we come into our December games here at home.
Well, we will see what head coach for the Tigers, Cameron Hill, and head coach for the Crusaders, Joel Garcia, draw up in the locker rooms for the second half. Tigers leading at 50-19. We'll be back on the Tiger Network after a brief 13-minute break. Welcome back to the Tiger Network. Breeders' Laws joined by Annika Saenz. Trinity leads Dallas Christian 50-19 in a very impressive first half showing. The same starters for both sides. Tigers have been blistering in their past 2 games. This one and Schreiner. 90 points in Kerrville. It's the most points that Trinity has scored against Schreiner in Kerrville since 1999. Way to go out for your last conference game against Schreiner in Kerrville. Of course, that is one of the big things that'll be happening next year is Trinity will no longer be in the SCAC. It'll be the SAA for them. Much longer road trips.
Oh, yes. It's a big transition, but I think everybody's ready. Everybody's eager to see some new opponents. Travel a little more. There's nothing wrong with traveling a little more.
There are some really good programs over in the SAA. I'm sure that the rivalries against Colorado College and Texas Lutheran will be upheld after the Tigers leave the SCAC. Kylie Minter and Trinity trying to start off this half on a good note. Minter heading to her right, passes it over to Timmons. Timmons just takes the 3. Doesn't make it. 50-19. Dallas Christian with their first possession of the second half.
Looks like the Tigers are setting up in a little man right now. They better count that one as a block or something.
Yeah, we were looking at the stats, and we thought Elaine King definitely had a block, but stats disagree. Coleman puts up the shot, puts it in. 50-21. So good start for Dallas Christian. They're going to need to do a lot of work to get back into this one, especially against a super tough Trinity team. O'Rourke to Timmons, gets it into King. Some nice passing. Foul drawn.
I don't know if that's a new motion, but I really liked it just to see everybody kind of cutting off of each other and making sure to hit backdoor cuts. They're playing pretty high, especially because they're hitting so hot right now. They're at 50%. So I expect Dallas to kind of press up pretty high, so Trinity can read well off of that. They did pretty well from the games that we played here early on in the season, so they're pretty good at reading that defense, and especially coming from Elaine King. Elaine King makes sure to keep that ball pretty high and finds everybody that's open. She's a great facilitator. As Bailey Timmons goes 1 from 2 at the charity stripe, and they're setting right back up into their press.
Senior from Argyle, Texas. Bailey Timmons, one of 2 seniors in the starting 5 for the Tigers. Minter almost got a hand on it. Dallas Christian with Coleman pulling up, doesn't make it. Timmons and the Tigers are running down the court. Minter gets it to O'Rourke. They finish clean.
That was just so pretty to watch. Oh my gosh, that little hitch step that Kylie had, got her first defender off of her and on her hip, and then just waited for that other defender to just kind of release off of her, and then just dumped it right down to Sky O'Rourke, who had an easy little layup and a great finish. Great assist and great finish.
And everything's going tough for the Crusaders right now as that Tiger defense, they're once again surging. Almost every pass is tough for the Crusaders. Coleman in the paint, unable to finish.
She had a good little cradle. I think she just needed to spend some time focusing on that backboard.
Minter, some good movement, gets it to O'Rourke. 55-21 after the finish from O'Rourke. Of course, getting into the holiday season, San Antonio not being like 80 or 90 degrees every other day.
I think that may be Josie Napoli's 3rd foul. It looked like there was a little bit of physicality going on, and she may have pressed that issue a little bit, but she assured to Coach Cameron she thinks she's okay. So we'll see how long this trust stays there for the foul.
Big looping shot from Coleman doesn't go. It'll be a Tiger ball. Got to talk to Coach Hill about some holiday favorites of his. Favorite Christmas movie, Home Alone.
A classic.
It is a classic.
Where's Kevin? Oh, that would have been a pretty finish if Bailey Timmon would have finished it. That's a great movie. Going back to that. I love Home Alone. I think one of my favorites is probably National Lampoon's. This is a little niche for anybody that's listening. Our 6 viewers. Whoever knows Christmas with the Cranks, that one's one of my favorites. It has Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, I do. I recognize the title.
Oh, it's so good. I always quote a couple things from it. It's like, never say hickory honey ham again. It's a little niche, but hopefully someone somewhere out there got that reference. Sky O'Rourke just had another take to the rim. She finished it on her left side this time.
Lane King, being the Grinch to Dallas Christian, slapped that ball down with authority. Another great Christmas film.
You love the Grinch. Is it the Jim Carrey one, obviously?
Oh, the cartoon.
The cartoon?
Yeah, the old cartoon.
You like the cartoon better than the Jim Carrey version?
It's got a nostalgia to it. I didn't watch the Jim Carrey version until years later.
Oh my God, Reed. If anybody ever wonders if I'm ever going to come back to this, it's a no after that response. That's a no. There's no way that you cannot prefer the Jim Carrey rendition of the Grinch. It's amazing. He was, there was great vocabulary. I know they use the word superfluous. I think that's where I learned that word. It was just a great cast too, all around. Amazing. You have any other Christmas favorites?
Other Christmas favorites. So Kylie Minter getting some points for Tigerville as Crusaders going quick. Off the iron. Offensive board doesn't go in either. Chimney not open quite yet. Other Christmas favorites. I mean, Christmas Story is a classic.
Yes. I was actually just talking with one of my friends about A Christmas Story. I think she's in Cleveland right now. And they filmed it, and they went to that house. She got a photo with that pole, like, licking it, and that was really funny. Looked to be a little physicality there as the Tigers maintain possession of the ball.
Tigers getting to retain possession. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Pass just a little bit errant into the arms of Namia Jackson. Crew get a shot off, and it goes in. Oh,
it jingled all the way into that rim. That one wasn't good.
And some quick points there. Called in some Amazon Prime 24-hour delivery.
That one's a good one.
Sky O'Rourke doesn't get a hand on the ball there. Tigers 3 for their last 3. Timmons and Napoli pressing up high. Buckner shoots from the key. Not quite the key, however, for some points.
These are those moments where you really need to focus about, keeping that integrity there. And we talked about rebounds this entire time. I know we flipped it a little while ago, but just making sure that that was one of those possessions where we had 3 Tiger jerseys right there,
Good save from King. Punched up by O'Rourke. Put back out. Kylie Minter shoots the 3, and it goes. Cash money for Kylie Minter.
She was getting ready to chase that one down off that rebound, but it's Kylie, and it went in.
64 points for the Tigers. Shot doesn't go. I know my brother years ago was excited for Nintendo 64, back when that was new. Foul drawn, Sky O'Rourke.
If anything in this game, I feel like the Tigers are really practicing their transition offense and really reading off of that defense. There was a really good little backdoor cut by Bailey Timmons, hit by Josie Napoli for another Dallas defender to kind of come up, and she dumped it right back off to Sky O'Rourke, who was inevitably fouled, and she's heading to the line as soon as we come out of this timeout.
Tigers up 64-26. 4 for their last 5 from the floor. Again, they're just shooting really, really well. Another Christmas favorite. Always gotta love Charlie Brown Christmas Special.
Yes.
It's a good one.
That was a good one. We actually went to the Trinity concert, and they played a couple of them, and that was a lot of fun. They played skating. That was really good. Aren't you a part of it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I know it very well.
You are You are well-rounded, very well-rounded. Were you in the choir?
Yes, singing the Trinity choir. So I did Christmas concert, then I did Vespers 2 days later, which is oldest running tradition at Trinity University.
I know a couple of my friends were in that.
It's been running for like a century now, so not always at Parker Chapel, but it's always an interesting time. Yeah,
That was my first time going to that Christmas concert, and I was so impressed. We had everybody out there. We had our symphony, our orchestra, obviously the choir. The chime choir came out, and that was so cool because we got to see one of my friends who's a swimmer, John. I had no idea he was in the chime choir, and he had one of those big bells, and I was like, I feel like he's using all of his strength to move this one, but it was so beautiful, and I was so glad to see so many Trinity students and parents in attendance. Skywork goes 1 for 2 at the line, and she's subbed out for Livy Savageau.
Savageau, good first half for her.
She did, and we have a couple other Trinity players coming in too. We have Jivy Cáceres, Jalen Martin, Natalie Greenwood, and Ivory Scott, as Ivory just maintains that rebound. Looked a little bit like a shuffle, and they call it.
Now I'm going to show you something, Annika. Picture taken from here in the control room during the Christmas concert, because just being reminded of the handbells.
Oh, yes. If anybody, he is describing just a man with what looks like, if you could picture it, a gallon of milk. That's how big the bell was. If anything, it was larger.
No, always very impressive. Of course, handbell choir. You know, we have choir singers who are also in the handbell ensemble, who are also in the symphonic ensemble. Yeah, a lot of well-rounded
I was about to say, I feel
musical
like
members.
We're just advertising for Trinity at this point. This is free advertisement for the 6 people that are watching.
You can go watch it on the Trinity University YouTube channel if you want to watch the video on demand.
We have that? That's so cool. That is so cool. Are we in bonus? Yeah.
Tigers,
Jivy Cáceres.
Tigers have hit the bonus very quick.
Cáceres missed the first one. Let's see if she can take it home on the second.
A lot of bounces, but not getting into the basket. Be Crusader ball. I think it's the first time that the Tigers have been in the bonus this game.
Yes.
They got there really fast, too.
Yeah. Well, they were pretty aggressive, I think, in this half, especially with that first 5 coming in.
Quick turnover. I think some miscommunications on part of the Crusaders. Tigers like this formation, usually find someone open, and that's Savageau off the back iron. Greenwood kicking it back out to Scott. Her 3 doesn't fall. Rebounded by Cáceres. Scott going to Cáceres. Her 3 doesn't go. Another offensive board for the Tigers. That one doesn't go. And finally, it's the Crusaders finally getting down the court and drawing a foul.
That was kind of a little body foul. May have pushed her with her lower half. I think may have been a little bit frustration after going 0-3 on that possession, but once again, we're talking about intent over outcome right now, but a lot of those looks were really great. The effort to get those offensive rebounds is really good.
In the corner is Randall. Works her way in, but working around the horn are the Crusaders, but travel. Haley Espinoza, 65-26, Tigers lead, and they'll have the ball. Getting to talk with head coach for the Crusaders, Joel Garcia. Super nice guy. Said his favorite part about the holidays, spending time with family, getting to see some faces you don't get to see very often.
Oh yeah, and I miss that. I'm excited to go back home. Where are you from again?
Right now I live up in Plano. Okay.
Are you gonna go home for the break?
Yeah, for a portion of it.
We gotta be back on the well, I'd come back on the 26th, maybe 27th, because we are commentating.
Yeah, that'll be a big week for this Tiger squad. Illinois Wesleyan coming into town. Currently the number 3 ranked team in the nation. Be a challenge for the Tigers, but they'll take it head on. As Martin takes a 3. Doesn't fall. Crusaders, good pass to Miranda Garcia. But errant pass on the floor. Crusaders maintain possession. Alicia Garcia, good swish.
It's a cute little runner coming off of that free throw with a baseball pass from Livy Savageau to Natalie Greenwood, who finishes it, and she's going to the line to make it, to potentially make it 3 points.
Yeah, the Tigers really knocked that one out of the park with the baseball pass. It'll be Greenwood for the N1.
I like that little connection you made.
They say I've got something to it. Otherwise, I don't think Josh would put me up here.
Why'd he put me up here?
See, you've got the knowledge that I don't have about certain aspects of the game.
I just played it too long to not know. This thing was, I was just deeply embedded within. This is it's not a, it's like the ball is life. It was real. With a swish coming from, who was that? Number
Alicia
2?
Garcia.
Alicia Garcia.
Making her father very proud. Daughter of the coach. Savageau trying to break through. Crusaders staying stout. Greenwood can't finish it. Dallas Christian trying to get some momentum. 3 for their last 3 shots. Have to work a lot quicker if they want to actually come back in this one. Working around. Caceres getting it to Coleman. It's tied up. But Crusaders will maintain possession. You've done a good job not to kind of mindlessly foul the Tigers, being very aware of the bonus that they're in. Coleman gets the ball. It was tipped by quite a few Tigers. Finish doesn't work. Caceres can't wrangle it. Long pass. 67-33. Both teams with scores in the increments of thirds.
Another little deflection by Livy Savageau, who's been really great defensively, and it's paired well with her offense tonight.
It's always Savageau having one of those last names that's always fun to hear on opposing broadcasts, because usually it's one of those names that if you don't have a pronunciation guide, you do not know how to say.
Apparently, I didn't know how to say it for a couple games, and that's on me.
Well, she never corrected us until until just today. Savageau's shot doesn't fall, but offensive board. Caceres gets the Tigers to 69.
It was a great power dribble. She got that ball with some great arch, and it just teardropped into that rim.
Clean finish for the Crew. They retaliate. Savageau, the ball in her hand. Heard pronunciations, heard Savigno, like we were saying
I know,
a bit before.
I was like, oh, this is French.
Foul called.
Jalen Martin's heading to the line for 2.
I believe I heard the Shiner broadcast call her Savago.
Okay. I had a couple mispronunciations. I think we were at Tufts last, it was 2 years ago. And they pronounced my last name Sanez, and I was like, that's nowhere near phonetically correct. But you know what? I'm just gonna let that slide. I've had Anika, that one's another one. The pronunciations are always kind of wild.
71 points for the Tigers. Clean free throws. Dean Balo often getting called Dean Ballo. Pickpocketed by Caceres. She'll take the points along with it.
That's what you call cookies.
Shot put up and put in. 10 seconds left in the third quarter. See if Savageau's the one to take this last shot. She'll have to. Too much traffic. Couldn't break away from her defender. But hey, guess what we've ended the third quarter on? Palindrome score number 2.
That's pretty good.
73-37. Tiger lead makes me very happy.
Once again, this is such a Trinityism. The fact that you're pointing out that there's a palindrome and it makes you this happy. To anybody who cannot see his face, he is grinning like the Cheshire Cat. He is just so pleased with himself that he pointed that out.
I'm waiting for the 94-49 final.
Hey, you never know. It can happen. It can happen. Also, if you can hear it, Chapel Roan's in the back. An icon. I saw her live at ACL. So good. I know a couple Trinity kids were there. Former Trinity basketball player for the men, Nate, was there. Got to see him. She drew in one of the largest crowds that ACL's ever seen, and she wasn't even a headliner. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I probably will never see her again. But she did absolutely amazing. It was cool. Have you been to any concerts recently?
Oh no, I'm not a concert goer usually.
What?
It's too loud.
Too loud?
Yeah. Which I know it's funny hearing this, but I always think they play the music a bit too loud in here. So don't tell Garrett that. Well, Garrett already knows that. He's probably like, yeah, Reed, I know.
He does it just in spite of you. And the starters for Trinity are back on the court.
Fourth quarter underway. See if the Tigers can break the century mark. They're definitely capable. Napoli will take a 3. Doesn't go in and out. Bailey Timmons with the offensive board gets it to Minter. Napoli almost thought about it. She works her way to her right. Now driving in. Some smooth moves. Draws the foul.
It was a good little screen set by Elaine King. And then Josie stopped for a second, making her defender think a little bit, and took it right to the rim. Got bodied. Now she's at the line. Let's see what she can do here.
First one off the rim for Napoli. Of course, as we draw closer to Christmas, good luck to anybody flying out. Always one of those hectic times at the airport, and big thank you to everybody who's working at SAX and DFW.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Thanksgiving was crazy, flying out from here back to Plano.
Mm-hmm. The last, I think, crazy experience, this is actually with the Trinity women's basketball team. Last year at around this time, we were in Seattle, I think. I think we were in Seattle this time, and Mark Powell, one of our trainers, had to drop me off at the Seattle airport because I had to fly to New York. But that was a little nerve-wracking, and you know, airports can be a little scary.
Especially airports that you've never been to before.
Oh, yeah.
Napoli with the ball, puts it up.
And one.
And one. That was really nice from Josie Napoli.
It seemed like a fully executed play as she came off of that little screen, what may have looked like a little Iverson cut to those who know a little basketball lingo. This is why I'm hired. That's the only reason.
Make it a lucky 77-37 score for the Tigers. And Tigers last year during winter break went to Las Vegas, where 7s are especially lucky numbers.
As Elaine King for sure got a block on that one.
It'll be O'Rourke with the ball. Foul away from O'Rourke. Foul's really pouring in now.
That was on Randall.
This year, Colorado College will be taking a part of the D3 Hoops Classic in Las Vegas. As we get ever nearer to conference play. Technically, we're already in it, but Trinity just playing their travel partners of Shriner. Because if you don't know, in the SCAC, you're assigned a travel partner. Points in for the Tigers, extending the lead a little further, 79-37. Of course, Shriner and Kerrville being Trinity's travel partner, which means we play the weird midweek game against them. Going in for Dallas Christian. Shot doesn't go.
Another baseball pass by Bailey Timmons, who found Josie Napoli.
Just
couldn't finish it.
Those are the ones that hurt, the ones that are on the rim but roll out.
Yeah, she tried to finish with her inside hand.
Air ball makes it Tiger possession.
There's a full rotation for the Crusaders, and Maddie Muller comes in, but I'm assuming it's for Bailey Timmons as she high-fived her coming out. And then Cameron Hill just motioned towards Natalie Greenwood to come in as well. And that would be for Elaine King.
I'm sure Minter, Napoli, and O'Rourke will probably be leaving the court in a minute or two, as this game is certainly out of hand at this point. Greenwood inside the arc, in the paint now, falls over, called for the travel.
I was about to jinx you right there. I'm sorry, that came out naturally.
Now the broadcast jinxes. I've had a couple of those with Luke Terry, so.
That man just posted on Instagram. If he's ever listening to any one of these, I'm his biggest fan.
I cited him as an authority figure for my finals presentation.
Amazing. He's just a cool guy. To know him is to love him. I was on an IM team with him last year. Oh, it was so much fun. We were actually, this is kind of fun. We had the Trinity, or the Tiger Network production team. We had Garrett on that team, Peyton, me, Brett, who's now a retired vet. Of course, we had Seth Asbury, who is an icon within himself. And we had our little Tony Parker, Luke Terry. But kind of iconic, I'm not gonna lie. We got demolished by the men's coaching staff. But they have Sterling, who literally played and was like an All-American or something like that. And I was like, that's just unfair.
Yeah, it's a rigged game. Napoli shoots off the back of the iron. Offensive board by O'Rourke, draws the foul.
How many offensive or defense, well, just rebounds in total does O'Rourke have?
So Sky O'Rourke, 7 rebounds, probably 8, depending on if they've updated it yet or not. But fouls being drawn by Trinity. They are really attacking things. New face in for the Tigers.
Kate Pulley, I want to say.
Yeah, Kate Pulley. First year out of Lake Oswego, Oregon.
I like that word, Oswego.
You know, I thought for a moment that it was New York because there is a Division III school in New York called Oswego State, which is by a Lake Oswego, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not sure how that name passed down from New York to Oregon, but.
Something like that. We have another new face coming in, number 35, Sienna Hernandez, coming in for the Tigers as O'Rourke stepped off after her free throws.
First year out of El Paso, Texas. Long drive from San Antonio, El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
You really get a sense of how big this state is when you drive to El Paso.
Texas is just ginormous. I'm pretty sure if you put us up against the Northeast, it's literally like 8 of those states, if not more.
In the corner, driving in. It's put up, but not put in by Jennifer Gonzalez. The Tigers will run free. Muller goes back out to Scott. Tigers slowing things down. Pass in, and that's good for Pulley.
Great little backdoor cut by Pulley when she saw her defender's head was turned. And another good find by Maddie Muller. She puts Kate Pulley on the board with a little left-handed layup.
A lot of cheers from the Tiger bench from that one. Trinity going on that Cali trip, coming away with 3 wins over Whittier, Redlands, and Claremont Mudscripts. Tough wins against Whittier and Redlands. Against Whittier, they only led for the last minute of that game.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Exactly. But some really good performances for the Tigers. Really needing it. Of course, new system of deciding who goes where. And Kate Pulley, I do believe, first points of her collegiate career.
It's good. We're making history.
Back out on the court are the Tigers. Crusaders will take a little bit more, but apparently Oregon Trail Settlers being the reason for the Oswego name traveling.
Do you think you could have survived the Oregon Trail?
Well, I've beaten the video game a couple times,
Oh
so.
gosh. Was that on your like 6th grade iPad?
I was, after a Cool Math got blocked, that was the,
What was your cool math game?
Oh, it was definitely the Papa's games, all right?
Yes, Papa's Freezeria. I was a business owner. I was a CEO. I was the employee. I was the manager. They're like, let me speak to your manager. Girl, I am the manager. What are you talking about? You gave me 3 stars out of 5. Get out of here.
Off the back iron on the 3 attempt. Tigers 82-39 is the lead. Pulley back out to Scott. Gets it to Mueller. Ivory Scott looking for one of her teammates. Really good press from the Crusaders. Mueller puts it up. Swish from inside the arc.
One of those pure shooters where every time it goes up, you're like, this has about a 70% chance of going in right now. And a block, I'm pretty sure. That was by Kate Pulley. She got a little tip on it.
Scott going to Pulley. Or not Pulley, my apologies.
Hernandez, right?
Hernandez. Both have 5s at the end. Need to look at the first number as well. Where will the Crew go? Trying to finish strong. That ball doesn't fall. Pulley with the rebound.
4.5 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, Natalie Greenwood with the ball. Back out, Scott. Tigers keen to keep it within the arc. They've had some good looks from shooting from 3, but working at the paint right now.
They've had some good looks at the short corner. They've been good.
Crusaders are trying to put anything in. That one doesn't fall either. Long pass. Mueller corrals it, gets it to Greenwood. Traffic jam near the net. Doesn't fall for Pulley, and a domino effect between the 2 freshmen.
I don't know whose ball they called.
It'll be
Oh, they called a foul. That's a little odd, not gonna lie. Ivy comes in for Natalie Greenwood and says timeout.
84-39.
Are you done with your finals?
I have one more final left.
Which is?
I have to write a 3-page German paper, so that'll be interesting.
Look at you, another well-rounded aspect of yourself. I'm telling you, this is free advertising for the university, Trinity University.
You know, getting to talk to I was a peer tutor for an FYE class this semester, and I know like the standards change every year, but apparently now for freshmen you need 2 intermediate classes for foreign language.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Well, your foreign language is obviously German. I took Latin.
Wow, Latin for the foreign language?
I did, because I was dumb. But I learned a lot. I had a great teacher. Her name was Rebecca Kahane. She was super cool. She's definitely not listening to this, but shout out Becky. I think I have a 20-page final due by tonight. I need to just finish my citations. Dr. Juan Sepulveda, if you are listening to this, it'll be submitted before midnight, I promise you. And then, what do I have? I think I have a drawing 1 final critique on Monday, and then because I'm diverse and I'm a good artist too. And I also have another essay for Dr. John Herman for his constitutional law class. He's really awesome.
He is awesome. B is awesome as well. That is Professor Herman's dog.
Yes, he always brings her in.
She goes around to everybody.
I know, you never feel special though, because she's just so loving to everyone.
But she has to come to you. You can't go to her.
No.
That's the thing. First free throw, no good for the Crusaders. Chloe Buckner at the charity stripe.
I want to say Ivy may have fouled on that one.
I think she did. Well, just judging by the reaction.
I was about to say, there was some word swap between her and the ref when she was down at that block getting ready to set up for the free throws.
Scott. It's good for the Crew. They're definitely not backing down. They've shown fight all game. Meharry gets the bucket, 86-40.
It was a great lob over everybody by Hernandez to find Ivy with great position. Had her defender on her in the front, actually. Yeah. And then she just finished really well off with her left hand.
Clean finish from Coleman, working her way around defenders. Scott and the Tigers, even though Tigers did come into this one as pretty heavy favorites, being an NCAA team. Meharry goes back up. Shot, doesn't fall.
Thought it may have been a little bank there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. It's kind of the angle it had, but I think if you're Coach Garcia, seeing that definitely brings a smile to your face. Nayeli Espinoza with the three. But also, just seeing the fight that the Crusaders have put up all game, it's got to be pretty inspiring heading into conference play. Dallas Christian receiving votes in their latest NCAA Division II poll. All knocked out. So substitutions as Alicia Garcia.
And shout out to Clark May, who's our little floor sweeper right now.
Three from Muller doesn't fall, but board by Meharry. Muller thought she was going to try again for a moment, but instead deferred it to Scott. Scott back in. Pass knocked away. Coleman, easy enough. Got some good airtime too.
Feels like they're getting a little lazy with the ball right now. I mean, there's a minute and a half left in the game. Making sure to take care of it. It's really important. Especially because Dallas isn't going away. That full court press is still there.
Yeah, the Crusaders definitely matching the Tigers' energy. Showing a lot of effort on defense. Muller gets it to Pulley, trying to spin around. Back out to Scott. She works to her right. Still working in. Clean finish from Ivory Scott. 88-47. 1 minute left.
She had a good little burst of energy there. It was nice to see her get to the rim. Kind of choked up on my words a little there.
Buckner just takes a three. Oh my goodness.
Of course it goes in.
And there goes my palindrome final.
Ugh.
We were pretty close too.
If you were gonna go 3 for 3, I was gonna be stunned.
That would have been nice. Muller gets it to Hernandez. And to Meharry. Out to Pulley. Pulley pulls up.
Pulley
doesn't
pulls
finish.
up.
Some players just have good names for play-by-play.
Oh yeah.
No shot clock, so we'll see if Dallas Christian will just take a shot at the buzzer or if the Tigers will be able to just run the clock out. Garcia, quick three, sinks it. So Crusaders finishing pretty strong. 5 for their last 5 shots. 88-53, the score right now. I don't think the Tigers are going to take another shot. Muller holding the ball. No attempt to foul. And that'll be the final. 88-53. The Tigers win over Dallas Christian. An impressive victory, but good finish from the Crusaders. 13-2 run over the last 3 minutes.
They really just started hitting threes. I mean, they just hit, what was that, 3 or 4 in a row in that last 2 minutes. It was good to see them finish like that, but I'm really glad to see them. We talked about this earlier in the first half, how the Tigers are still really close with them in rebounding, and I feel like we kind of tsunami'd that right now where we went 52-40. It really turned the tables there, I think. that Skylar Work was a big part of that. I think she came off the floor with 7 or 8 rebounds. She was a big part of their win today. She had a couple assists. But yeah, it was good to see some faces come in. I know that there was a couple freshmen who made their debuts, got some points on the board, Kate Pulley being one of them, who just had her replay right now. But overall, it was really good. Got to see Ivy Meharry play here at home. She had some good points here, and I like to see her positioning. I think she's going to be really good looking forward into the season that's coming up, and especially coming home on the 27th.
Running down some of the stats, Kylie Minter leading the team in scoring with 15 points, but Josie Napoli was close behind with 14, along with Sky O'Rourke with 14. So a good spread out from the Tigers. Natalie Greenwood led in rebounds with 8. Kylie Minter and Sky O'Rourke both had 7, respectively. And Kylie Minter with 7 assists. So good day for Minter. Once again, she's been having a lot of good days.
How many games is that in a row where she's been in double digits? Has she had one ever? She's been in double digits every game this season, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has not had a game where she's been in single digits. So off to a good start for her. Up next for the Tigers, it will be after Christmas, December 27th. Number 3 ranked team in the nation right now, the Illinois Wesleyan Titans, coming to San Antonio. As on December 27th, Friday, 6 o'clock. If you're in town, show up. That'll be a huge game for the Tigers. They can win that one. They will vault themselves up in terms of the national spotlight. Meanwhile, for Dallas Christian, they are set for their marquee matchup. It'll be in the new year, January 7th. They will play Champion Christian College at 5 o'clock. They're at Champion Christian up in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Always make a nice trip up to Hot Springs. Number 1 team in the NCAA Division II. So big game for the Crusaders. But for everybody at the Tiger Network, Annika Signs, everybody working stats, camera operators, and of course Josh Machigemba throwing this all together. Have a good night.